Breaking Dawn Part 1 movie. It's in 7 parts. The Justin Bieber baby rumors, a picture of himself and Selena Gomez, is the graphic for that one. I go in depth on that and give you my opinion of the whole situation. And I also tweeted a number of things as a follow-up to that. Tell me if you think he's innocent or not at youtube.com, JonathanClarke22. It's called Justin Bieber Baby Rumors. I believe it's in a 5 or 6 part series. And I also put up a video of Booker T potentially returning to the ring, and we have some new interviews up there as well with people like Sheena Lane and Matt Burns, who made his second appearance on HW Entertainment Variety Radio a few weeks ago. So a lot of great stuff up there on youtube.com, JonathanClarke22, so make sure you check all that stuff out. Now, getting back on The Rock and John Cena, do you think The Rock delivered a better speech about his day than many of John Cena's promos over the last 9 years? I think that he definitely did. I think that The Rock definitely delivered a better speech than what John Cena did, because I think that The Rock, can attach himself and connect himself with people probably better than John Cena ever could on John Cena's best day. I think that The Rock's speech about his day is one of the promos that stood out for me, one of his best promos since he returned at the start of 2011. And it really set this pace and the stage, if anything, for the match at Survivor Series, which I'm anticipating The Rock and John Cena to win, provided one of them don't fuck the other one over, to build momentum heading into WrestleMania and a potential heel turn from either John Cena or The Rock. The rumor is right now that John Cena is going to turn heel, although I believe The Rock would be a more appropriate one to turn heel because of his heel work experience in the past with people like Goldberg and Steve Austin. As I mentioned, John Cena's main event at WrestleMania against people like JBL, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H, while The Rock has main event at WrestleMania against people like Stone Cold Steve Austin more than once. So that's an advantage they have heading into the tag team match. Some things I expect to reach a climax are the egos potentially clashing, the fact that a lot of money is involved and they could do anything to get the match over by turning on one another and potentially trying to steal the show from each other. So a lot of things can be looked at in a good way, and probably more things can be looked at in a bad way. Follow The Rock at twitter.com The Rock or twitter.com Dwayne Johnson, and follow John Cena at twitter.com John Cena. You can also join the conversation at facebook.com The Rock or John Cena. I believe the actual URL for the Rock one can either be accessed by The Rock or Dwayne Johnson, as he's using the name The Rock to promote the John Cena Rock stuff, and a lot of stuff is on The Rock's Facebook page as well. Funny that one guy is ahead of the other one on each social network. John Cena is ahead of The Rock with Facebook fans, while The Rock is ahead of John Cena with Twitter followers at twitter.com The Rock, twitter.com Dwayne Johnson. And I know The Miz and R-Truth are doing what they can, although they don't really serve much of a purpose other than two guys who are booked to lose against John Cena and The Rock and promote The Rock versus John Cena match at WrestleMania 28. Tickets were on sale a few weeks ago. They are sold out now. They're running promos for that, and all over different parts of the states there are actually promotional posters and buses with The Rock and John Cena's face on them. So looks like they're over-promoting this, if anything, and over-promote is probably an understatement. There's probably a better word that I can't think of to put this into perspective for you. If you have a better word, tweet it to me, or follow me on Facebook at facebook.com Jonathan Clarke and join the conversation, because I think they're really over-promoting this, and it's reached a point now of no return. They have to go through with what they're promoting, and hopefully it will live up to all of its expectations. And the funny thing is, something that isn't promoted as much is the most awesome thing we could ever lay our eyes on in professional wrestling. And something that's over-promoted, like WrestleMania 20 was, turns out to be craptacular. So, I hope The Rock and John Cena's match at WrestleMania 28 lives up to its expectations. It's in the home state of The Rock. And if you ask me, everything seems to be going in the favor of The Rock for this thing, in the direction of The Rock, if anything, because he's got the home field advantage at Miami. He's on the cover of the the WWE 12 video game, for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 with the People's Edition. He's on whatever Raws he can make it to. He had a birthday celebration. He's been promoting the hell out of his Facebook. He's been sending pre-recorded promos from the set of his movies. More recently, the G.I. Joe movie, which we're covering for you in our news center at freewebs.com/HEW Wrestling News Center. So it seems like everything is going in his favor, which is something I don't necessarily agree with. Available right now on DVD, Super 8 and Spy Kids 4 is going to be available on November 22nd, starring Jessica Alba. And for Christmas, actually, we have the Beauty and the Beast Enchanted Christmas Edition that is available, and a number of other holiday favorites are available at your local Blu-ray and DVD retailers. But the main ones we got are Super 8 and Spy Kids 4, the fourth of the quartology of the Spy Kids. And if you've seen the Spy Kids movies before, starring Emily Osment when she was about 10 years old as an extra, they were great movies, and Spy Kids 4 is great. Adding Jessica Alba to the mix makes it even that much better. And some new video games we have out for you right now: Saint Row for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. We have the Need for Speed Run game, which is the latest Need for Speed installment of the series. Great game. Let me tell you about this one. It's a game where you're $25 million in debt, and you have to win a race and go 3,000 miles from California to New York to win $25 million to pay off your debt, or you end up dead. Very interesting concept to the game, and I would advise you to check that one out. WWE 12 is also available on November 22nd, so make sure you check all that out. We have some great music available for you this week, too, at CD retailers across the world. So there's a lot of stuff happening that I could talk about, and I'm going to give you an idea of what we're going to be talking about here over the next couple of weeks on HW Entertainment Variety Radio. We are talking about John Laurinaitis in our news center. Interesting news item up about him in our news center. We're also following him for you on Twitter at twitter.com HW Entertainment Jonathan Clarke 1 under Raw General Manager. We're also following Kelly Ripa and Regis Philbin, following over 750 people, I believe, on our Twitter account. We're up to almost 800 fans on Facebook, thousands of views at youtube.com Jonathan Clarke 22. Our Soul Surfer documentary, when we documented that movie starring Carrie Underwood and a young girl who plays a girl with an amputated arm at the age of 13, winning a Teen Choice Award for her courage, Bethany Hamilton. We got over almost 200 views or more for that one. We had a lot of views for the Bret Hart Shawn Michaels DVD documentation and the Ladder Match 2 DVD as well, getting a lot of views at youtube.com Jonathan Clarke 22, and we're hoping to get just as many views for the Justin Bieber video, and the Breaking Dawn one is the one I have high expectations for. If you saw that movie, tell me what you thought of it. Theaters sold out everywhere, showing the movie up to 12 times a day. If you can get your hands on a Breaking Dawn ticket, boy, are you lucky. We're also going to be taking a look at Victoria Justice. I'll get to that in a minute. The Nickelodeon star from the show Victorious. I've been actually taking a look at that over the last couple of weeks. Very impressed with that, so I'll be telling you what to expect here in a few minutes. On our MySpace page, we have 3,000 fans, so make sure you send us a friend's request on that and join the conversation over there. A lot of great stuff, so make sure you check out our social networks by clicking on social networks at the top of the website. As I mentioned, 800 fans on Facebook join the conversation at facebook.com Jonathan Clarke in anticipation for our Justin Bieber Babies Rumor video available in our archives. I actually, at youtube.com Jonathan Clarke 22, I actually liked Mariah Yetter as we strive to do something about this situation and hopefully help Justin Bieber. She's on our Facebook page. I linked her up to it at facebook.com Jonathan Clarke. And actually, we're keeping up with everything happening both on Facebook and Twitter with her. Let me know what you think of that video when you get the chance. Tell me if you think he's innocent or not. And what you can expect over the next couple of weeks here on HW Entertainment Variety Radio for video commentaries and audio archives is a look, of course, as I mentioned, at Victoria Justice and her involvement with Nickelodeon's hit show Victorious. I believe they're in their second or third season, or probably further with that one. I've been keeping up with that. Very impressed with her. I will talk about her. She just had a new toy released, a doll that has her singing the theme song of the show. And she actually, if you move the microphone up to her mouth, she sings. It's kind of like that new rock and roll Mickey Mouse they have. great stuff for kids. She just had a new toy released. She's had previous toys released from different toy companies. Nickelodeon really getting behind her. Very impressed with her. And as I did for Bridget Mendler last summer, I will talk about Victorious and Victoria Justice more so on the next installment of HEW Entertainment Variety Radio. This one, taking a look at The Rock and John Cena teaming up for the first time in 7 years. The Rock will actually be in an actual wrestling match, thank Jesus. Let us know what you think of that. That will be available in our video archives. And also, we're going to be taking a look at the show iCarly, another Nickelodeon one for you. And we're actually going to be taking a look at the release of Maurice. Now, this is something that I didn't expect to see. I thought she was kind of hanging on with WWE's NXT as a host over there with Matt Striker. But apparently, from what I got from a news item, which I posted in our news form amongst the 16,000 that are currently up there, is that Maurice has left WWE. She's been released, kind of like Melina was a few months ago. We documented that in one of our video archives. And she has no plans of joining TNA. To find out more about that, visit our news center. We are following Maurice for you on Twitter. And keep up with her at twitter.com, Maurice Intolat. For more information on what happened there. Details are very vague, but she seems to be stress-free about it. I thought she was kind of hanging on over there, as I mentioned, for a column I put together and wrote for In This Corner with Jonathan Clarke. Very depressed over the fact she was released. One of the more talented Canadian females to come through the doors of WWE perhaps in the last 10 years. Great talent. Could have really paved the way and taught some of the younger talent like AJ Lee and Caitlyn, the winner of NXT Season 3, the Divas Edition, more in their young careers, but she's out the door now and has no plans of joining TNA. We will talk about Maurice's release for a video archive and our audio archives in the coming weeks, so make sure you check out all of that, the Victoria Justice video commentary, the Rock John Cena video commentary, and the up-and-coming one on Maurice. They will also be available in our audio archives, as every show is every week, at HEW Entertainment's official website in our radio form, so make sure you check all that out. I'm really anticipating The Rock and John Cena as a team for the first time. Never before, never again. A lot of video footage, a lot of promo work from both The Rock and John Cena and other parties, particularly The Miz and R-Truth right now. More parties are expected to become involved with this, although I'm really not looking forward to seeing more people become involved, because I believe it should just be on The Rock and John Cena as them working in a match at WrestleMania 28, apart from people like CM Punk. The Miz and R-Truth really have no place in this thing. Looking forward to seeing where it all goes from here, what direction they take it in. It's the main event of Survivor Series, and rightfully so, because we are just about 4 or 5 months maybe away from WrestleMania 28, probably less than that now by the time you hear this. Looking forward to it, and you can keep up with everything on twitter.com/WWE. We're following them for you. New additions on Twitter, Kelly Ripa, Regis Millman, The Raw General Manager, John Laurinaitis. Check all that out. And follow me on Twitter at HW Entertainment Jonathan Clarke 1. We smell what WWE are cooking, and we definitely see what WWE are putting together. A tag team main event featuring The Rock and John Cena. The Rock's first in-ring appearance since '04, when he was booked to lose with Mick Foley, who he recently rocked